Welcome back everyone, Zaf here to yet another juicy Solo Guys video. We have some fairly crazy developments from Alpha Leaker. Basically the devs have made their stance, and I want to know in the comments everyone's opinions on this. Basically what happened is Alpha Leaker's Twitter got multiple, if not hundreds of DMCA strikes. All the leaks they've posted have been removed, at least anything that isn't from the game like this screenshot here, and it looks like Alpha Leaker is taking his leave. He said it's been a fun journey, it was a good half year, almost done, NETMARBLE decided to draw the line, DMCA striking almost all my tweets that include leaks, and I do think they're well within their rights to do so. It is their original content, they should choose when to release it, but it is gonna suck just a little bit not seeing what's upcoming. It was always exciting and fun covering what Alpha Leaker had for us, but there was some issues from this, and let me cover that in just a moment. But first I do want to remind you, Season 4 of the supporter program has just started. Your support has been removed. We went from 15,000 supporters all the way down to 6,290 supporters. That's because everyone's support gets removed when a new season starts, and the new season started literally today. So make sure you go to the link down below and support, otherwise you're missing out on codes. As you can see, Season 4 started on September the 23rd, so we just started and we're getting a new juicy code coming out shortly. As you know, as creators, we're given video missions to do. Once we do the video, we upload it, and as you can see, I already submitted the video, so we're gonna get this new code very soon for 500 Essence Stones and 4 Hunter exclusive weapon designs for SR Hunters. Pretty decent if you ask me, so make sure you support, otherwise you will miss out. And just heads up, the Season 3 codes are now expired. That's why you support earlier rather than later, otherwise you're missing out on these codes. The earlier you support, the faster you get those codes, and you can use them before they expire. So make sure you support, otherwise, yes that's right, you are missing out. And also do not forget to subscribe. We're almost at the 100,000 subscriber mark, so just subscribe, let us hit that milestone, because we're literally almost there. So again, I do want everyone to comment what you think. The one problem I had with leaks is kind of obvious. A lot of these leaks, although were interesting and provided some good information, generally speaking, it was always subject to change. As you know from Harper, as you know from Go, etc., they constantly receive changes, such as Go, his animations did change, and Harper's kit was totally different, so that's why with leaks, you always had to take them for a grain of salt. I know most creators still cover leaks, but on my end, I basically stopped. Everything was just too wishy-washy for me. Although it was very fun to look at, it didn't really make sense to cover speculation when it was bound to change, and it would basically ruin everyone's hopes for the game. If something wasn't basically what we expected, based on alpha, and I mean alpha releases for various hunters, etc., it caused some dismay, it caused a lot of negative reactions, and I just didn't want that. As you can see, the devs do follow up pretty quickly when it came to hunters not being up to par, from their dev streams that is, so I do think we gotta give the devs a bit of slack, let them release the content at their pace, let them actually finish their releases, their development, etc., instead of rushing to release any news we get. No matter how many disclaimers we put, people always have negative reactions if something isn't up to par, though the argument can be made that if we're seeing these leaks before the hunters come out, we can already put our expectations higher and request the devs to change certain things. But I don't think that's necessary. The devs have made it clear they do listen to an extent to the community, this ignoring the recent bans going on, kind of unfortunate, but before that they had a pretty good track record if you ask me. Again, there's always something negative happening that does ruin everyone's expectations, but we can be hopeful of course. But again, let me know in the comments what you think. Are the leaks what you expected? Is a ban on leaks what you expected? Personally for me, I did see this coming, and wow, we got a hero work right off the bat. That's pretty crazy. And a good one too, interesting, but as I was saying, I do think the devs made the right move. Games shouldn't have this many leaks, especially when Alpha Leaker was putting out leaks well in advance to the release. I think if anything, the leaks should come out maybe like 3 days for a release if you want some content for people to click, not leaks from months in advance like the weapon liberation, which might not happen, which everyone was expecting to use our dupes for. As of right now, we have all these dupes, at least I do, and I don't know what to do with them. So many SR dupes, do I salvage them now? Do I wait? What are we gonna do with them? I have no idea. Everyone was waiting for the weapon liberation to come out, based on the leaks we saw. where we could use these to make even better weapons, potentially. So what do? Do I wait? Were those leaks a lie? Are the devs going to use our guild system to make use of our dupes, or just use the guild system itself to make new weapons instead of that system, since the devs did mention in a previous notice that they plan on changing how they're going to use dupes, or how they're going to use the rewards in the guild system to make for new SR weapons. We'll have to see. Right now, we just have the singular weapon here, the SSR light weapon, so it's tough to say what's going to happen. We have no idea. The leaks in place did provide us some insight, but again, it did ruin expectations. It did ruin the dev's release schedule as well. So overall, I think it's a good move, but poor Alpha Leaker. I guess he can't upload any more content regarding leaks. Kinda sucks in that regard. But again, it is to be expected. There just wasn't a place in the game for leaks, and I do agree with the devs. So again, do let me know what you think. I'm super curious. Do you agree with the devs? Do you think the leaks should continue? Obviously, I think going forward, no content creator will cover leaks. It's just not worth it, too much of a risk. NETMARBLE is bound to put a DMCA strike on your account if you continue, or a copyright strike, because you're putting their unreleased content on your pages, which is not ideal. So going forward, no more leaks from me. I'm sure the content creators will follow. It's just not worth it, and it's just not a benefit overall, providing leaks to things that might never happen. So again, we'll have to see. But with that said, I do hope the devs continue putting out more notices, at least earlier on. At least on the global side, we get notices, like a minute or two before the update, and I don't like that personally. I do think we should get updates more routinely. Maybe the devs can do like a what we're working on notice. That would be pretty fun, kind of giving us insight on what's to come. Even if it isn't concrete, they could say maybe we're working on a system to use your dupes better, a system to advance your weapons, etc. Instead of just leaving us in the dark until a update comes maybe 3 weeks after the one we're currently in. As you know, with Harper and Charlotte, it is a 4 to 3 week gap until the next hunters come out, so we have a ton of time for devs to release any notices, etc. I hope they don't leave us in the dark during this period. 16 days is a very long time to just play the game as is, so I'm really hopeful the devs give us some news, some updates, and I did see a lot of concerns from players based on the recent Korean events going on. I do not agree with the sentiment that this is a Korean versus global meta, where the Korean players are getting more. A lot of misinformation out there, and let me cover that in just a moment. I just want to give a quick shout out to Zayat for being the first commenter on our last video. He's been trying very hard recently to get first, so a big congrats to you, and also a big shout out to everyone in our comment section. A lot of people are super helpful in this, such as Anime Stream, for example, answering a lot of questions here. So a big shout out to anyone answering questions in our comment section. You make the community great, so thank you so much for helping people out. And also while I'm here, don't forget to support. We're gaining more and more supporters by the second. You can see here, another 12 supporters as I record this video, so do support, get your codes, or the code king for a reason. So I just want to address this, the championship for the Korean side of the game. A lot of people are saying the Korean players are getting more awards, but that's not the case. Read this please very carefully. If you visit the site, not the website, this is the physical location. On the day of the main event, you'll receive 5,000 magic stones and 10 lucky boxes, and a championship goods bag. That's totally fine. You have to actually go to Korea, go to the location, which is right here, and visit the event to get these awards. These are just not freebies being given strictly to Korean players, although you could say, well, I can't visit the event, etc. That's just the case. If it was in the US, if it was in Germany, if it was anywhere else, you probably couldn't visit anyways. A lot of people would miss out. It's just easier for NETMARBLE to host an event in Korea rather than somewhere else, so it totally makes sense. And again, the reward isn't that crazy for actually going to the event itself. It does incentivize people to go, which is very good, I agree. The devs should do that. At least give players a bit of an incentive to go, visit, cause a crowd there, build up hype, etc. So I do hope a lot of people visit the site. That being the physical location. When you translate things, you might lose it in translation, of course. Site does not mean website. If, and I agree, if it was a website you visit to get all these awards, only if you were a Korean player, that wouldn't be fair. The Korean players would agree. I think global and the Korean side of the game should all get the same rewards, and the devs have not ever misdelivered on that. Everyone gets the same thing, but when it comes to the English streams, our coupon codes have sucked. I know, we piggyback off the Korean side of the stream, taking their codes as well, but a lot of English players already watch those Korean streams. You watch it through content creators like me, who translate them, as we have fantastic translators in our community. Shout out to June, of course. So when we end up watching the English streams and we get 200 fabrics for costumes rather than essence zones and summons, it kind of feels bad. We do want better codes, but it is what it is. Again, we piggyback off the Korean codes, but also for the English codes, they last like 12 hours. Can the devs please extend the duration for those codes? Match them up to the Korean timeline, it'd be so much better, rather than expiring right away. Kind of a weird sentiment, but it is what it is. Hopefully things do change. The devs constantly do implement changes, so I am hopeful of that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, do leave a comment what you think about the leaks. I'm curious to see what everyone's thoughts are. Again, I do agree with NETMARBLE's move. We had enough wrong leaks coming to the game, causing a commotion, causing issues, so no leaks is for the better. The devs should just release things on their own terms, rather than someone, randomly releasing things that shouldn't really be released, so I have no issues on the devs for that, but I do have an issue of people still getting wrongfully banned and no notice from the devs, so please devs, if you're watching, give us some update. There's no way these are legit bans. So many people are getting banned in a short period of time. Before when bans happen, no one complained, maybe one person a month on the forums. Now we're getting people complaining every single day. It just does not make sense to me, so please address it. We need answers. But on that note, do support, do subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, and do stay tuned for more Soul of Ice content like this. This was your Code King Zaf signing out.